moved into my new apartment on a Thursday. By Friday night, I realized something strange. My neighbor across the hall never seemed to sleep. The first time I noticed was when I took the trash out around 2 a.m. His door was slightly open, and through the gap, I could see him. A pale man standing perfectly still in his hallway, staring directly at me. He didn't blink, he didn't move, he just stared. I gave a polite nod instinctively, but he didn't react at all. Feeling uncomfortable, I quickly closed my door and locked it. The next night, around the same time, I got curious. I looked through the peephole. He was there again. Same place, same posture, same intense stare at my door. But this time, he smiled. Not a kind or welcoming smile, more like the grin of someone who had made a dark decision. By Monday, I started avoiding my hallway altogether, but at exactly 3:14 a.m. that night, I woke up to a sound. 3 soft knocks on my front door, followed by silence. When I checked, no one was there, but taped to the door was a small piece of paper. It said, "You blinked first." I didn't sleep at all that night. Tuesday morning, I decided to ask the landlord about him. She paused when I mentioned the apartment number. 302? She asked. That apartment's been empty for 3 years. I laughed, thinking she must be mistaken, but she looked dead serious. She went on to say the last tenant had taken his own life. He was found dead in the hallway. I didn't know how to respond. I just nodded and walked away. That night, I set my phone to record through the peephole. I didn't want to look anymore. I just wanted proof. At 2:37 a.m., I heard footsteps outside. When I checked the recording in the morning, the phone's battery was dead, but the video had saved. It showed nothing for hours, just the dark, empty hallway. But at exactly 3:13 a.m., a hand reached into the frame from the side and covered the peephole from the inside. My heart dropped. I hadn't moved all night. No one should have been able to reach in like that. But the hand was real. That day, I asked a friend to stay over. He didn't believe the story, but agreed to come, and he brought his dog just in case. That night, the dog refused to leave my bedroom. It whined and growled constantly. At exactly 3 a.m., it started barking wildly, directly at my closet. We opened it together. There was nothing inside, but the wallpaper had been scratched and peeled away, revealing something carved into the wall behind it. It said, "I'm getting closer." That was the night I decided to stay at a hotel. The next evening, I contacted a medium. I was desperate. She came in, lit candles, and began muttering prayers I didn't understand. She seemed focused until she suddenly stopped and looked toward the air vent. She told me that something was inside my walls, something that didn't belong in this world. She stared at the vent and whispered that it was listening to us. The flames began to lean toward the vent, as if something was breathing from inside it. She packed up and left in a hurry, didn't even ask for payment. On Friday, I finally worked up the courage to go back and get my belongings. I brought a bat and fear and 100 second thoughts. The hallway smelled rotten. The ceiling lights were flickering. When I opened my apartment door, I had the distinct feeling that someone was standing behind me. I turned quickly. No one was there. Inside, the apartment felt colder. The refrigerator was open. That made no sense. But what truly stopped me in my tracks was the Polaroid on the fridge door. It was a photo of me, sleeping in my bed. But I hadn't been there in days. And in the background of the photo, standing in the doorway, was the neighbor. Only he wasn't smiling anymore. He was pointing. I looked closer at the photo. In the far right corner, barely in frame, was the outline of a mirror. I didn't own a mirror. I turned toward the bedroom slowly. There, hanging on the wall, was a mirror I'd never seen before. It was new, clean, reflective. And in the reflection, I saw the hallway and the neighbor standing behind me. I turned around fast. Nothing there. I looked back at the mirror. He was still there. He waved. That was the last time I ever stepped foot in that apartment. I didn't even pack. I just ran. Two weeks have passed since then. Yesterday, I happened to walk past the old building. All the windows were dark except one. Apartment 302. There, standing still behind the glass, was the pale man, smiling.